Hello, welcome to our October episode of Bookies TV. I'm Jo Hansen, one of the Reader's Advisors at Cook Memorial Public Library. I'm here with Karen Varga, another one of our Reader's Advisors. Hi, Karen.
Hello.
With the changing of the seasons, Karen and I thought it would be fun to feature 4 books about witches. I'm seeing more and more novels about witches. When I searched our library catalog for witch fiction, there were more than 1,000 items. I'm finding many of these titles trend to be on the lighter, sweeter side, including the 2 I'm going to talk about today. My first pick is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. This is a feel-good, uplifting novel featuring a young witch named Mika Moon. Mika has never felt like she's belonged. As an orphan child in England, she was raised by a controlling older witch named Primrose and educated by many nannies, each of whom disappeared away before they could realize Mika's power. She's never told anyone her secret, but as an adult, she takes a risk by posting videos online in which she pretends to be a witch. It's all harmless fun. But then an unexpected message arrives, begging her to travel to the remote and mysterious Nowhere House to teach 3 young witches how to control their magic. Mika decides to accept the offer, even though it breaks all the rules about staying hidden. She's immediately tangled up in the lives and secrets of not only her 3 charges, but also the 4 non-witch caretakers, including Jamie, the handsome and prickly librarian of Nowhere House. Jamie would do anything to protect the children, and as far as he's concerned, a stranger like Mika is a threat. But of course, when you have a handsome librarian in the storyline, you can just tell a romance is coming. I love books like this where people find new families to embrace. If you enjoy heartwarming, uplifting stories with quirky characters and a touch of magic, you should try this book. The sweet fantasy romance will appeal to fans of T.J. Klune's The House in the Cerulean Sea. So Karen, what's your pick?
Well, I decided to start with something fun and humorous. It's called A Letter to 3 Witches by Elizabeth Bass. And it actually reminded me a lot of the TV series Bewitched. It alternates between 2 narrators. There's Gwen, she's the main protagonist, and she rocks out to Barry Manilow's songs. And then there's Grizz, and he is a cat who belongs to the antagonist, Tanith. His narrative adds a special humor to the story too. The story is based upon a family of witches and their magical mishaps, starting specifically with their great-grandfather, who was accused of starting the Dust Bowl. And since then, his family has been banned from practicing witchcraft altogether. So you may wonder, how is this a story of witches? Well, of course, something happens to trigger off some accidental magic. Tanith sends an upsetting letter to 3 cousins, and this causes stress and tension, and we end up with, shall we say, some missing people and some magical treats. The novel is filled with comical references to witchy social media platforms like Witchbook or BrewTube or Cackle. And there's also a fun cast of side characters. Gwen's employees, Taj and Kyle, are very funny. And there's the crazy Aunt Esme. And you add in a little bit of romance and you get a novel that will appeal to readers who like X-Hex by Aaron Sterling, or Paybacks, A Witch by Lana Harper, or Wicked Appetite by Janet Ivanovich. It was fun.
So why do you think we like other patrons like reading books with witches in them? I always have.
I think for me, a lot of time it's because I wish that I would be able to do some of those magical things.
Yeah, I watched Bewitched growing up, and I just really wanted to be Samantha. Wiggly nose and your house is clean. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
It certainly would. So what's your next book?
My next book is also another cute, a cute one with witches, and it's It's called Steeped to Death by Gretchen Rue, and it's the first book in a new cozy mystery series. Phoebe Winchester's beloved Aunt Eudora has a knack for making magical tea at her tea shop and bookstore in Raven Creek, Washington. It's even rumored that she just might be a witch. But when Eudora dies and leaves everything to her niece, including her old Victorian mansion and her bookshop tea store and one very chubby orange cat named Bob, Phoebe gets more than she bargained for. And she knows she's in deep when a dead man is found on the shop's back step, apparently killed while trying to break into the tea shop. Phoebe knows she should leave it to the professionals, but as she starts to dig into the underbelly of Raven Creek, she begins to uncover the truth about Eudora. What's more, her aunt might not have been the only witch in the family, as Phoebe soon discovers she has unique and unexpected gifts of her own. Steeped to Death will appeal to readers who like cozy, gentle mysteries with a touch of magic. The descriptions of the teas and the pastries are delicious, and Bob the cat is adorable. And it just has such an adorable cover with Bob on it. My only complaint about the book is it had quite a few typos and grammatical mistakes, which drove the editor and me crazy. I hope the next title will be more carefully edited. What's your next book, Karen?
Well, I did have to do a little bit of eerie and spooky. After all, Halloween is coming. So once again, a witch book, but it's called A Lullaby for Witches by Hester Fox. And it was set in Massachusetts. And what made this book extra special for me was I was actually traveling in Boston and Salem at the time while I was reading it. So it made it a more immersive experience, so to speak. It is a mix of historical and contemporary fiction. The contemporary main character, her name is Augusta, and she has a job giving tours at the Salem jail. And she hates that job. She knows that she can be doing better. So she finds a new job as a collections manager at Harlow House. While she is there getting a tour, she's intrigued by a painting of this beautiful woman, but nobody knows who she is. As she does more research into the situation, she discovers that this is a Harlow daughter who was removed from the historical information and the records. This particular part of the novel is third-person omniscient narration, but then for the other character, our historical main character, Margaret, it's first person. Now, Margaret died in 1876, and her narration is more lyrical. It's a mystery, though, what happened to Margaret, why she died, and how. And that's part of the eeriness of the book. And another part of the eeriness is that while researching, Augusta seems to be pulled into these dream phases where she's seeing what's happening in 1876. And she actually becomes Margaret in these dreams, and she sees through Margaret's eyes. There's definitely a magical connection between the two. And Margaret's ghost haunts Harlow House. And there is a little bit of romance in this as well. And if you like The Invited by Jennifer McMahon or Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, I would recommend this book to you.
Well, that sounds really interesting. It might be a little too scary for me, but I might be able to handle it.
You might like the historical fiction part of it.
Yeah, I love historical fiction. So you're right, if I can just not get too scared. So, okay. Well, I think that wraps up our 4 titles about witches. And I know Karen this week has a blog post out about 2 other witch books. So check that out on our blog, Read, Watch, Listen. And in the meantime, thank you for joining us. If you're looking for more Goodreads, come see us at the reference desk. You also can visit us at our Bookies page at www.cooklib.org/bookies, where you can fill out a form and we will give you a customized reading list based on your likes. Have a wonderful fall. Bye-bye.
Bye.